Well, Elmo made a post on Twitter the other day asking everyone, how you doing? How are things going? And the world responded with sadness and malaise. It was very, very depressing.
This is the wellness check from Elmo, your favorite Sesame
Trauma
Street
dump.
character. Elmo is just checking in. How is everyone doing? Here's the first one I saw. I lost my job. My wife left me. I'm behind on loans. I'm losing my house. I'm suffering. Another one said, I'm having a quarter-life crisis right now, and I can't get my shit together to finish this last semester. I'm mentally burnt out, and I have a lifetime of working to go. Elmo, I'm gonna be real. I'm at my effing limit. Me getting ready to trauma dump on Elmo.
My favorite says Elmo gonna be rich when he gets his ad revenue on Friday.
T-Pain even responded saying, I'm just looking for somebody to talk to and show me some love, if you know what I mean.
Like, when I look at this, first of all...
Florida congressman said, not well, I serve in Congress. Yeah. Rachel Zegler, she said, resisting the urge to tell Elmo that I'm kind of sad. She also said she slept with a stuffed Elmo from Sesame Place her entire childhood.
Why do you think it is that people, gravitate towards this type of content online? Because what it is, I really do believe that a lot of times when you have these viral types of stories, it just kind of devolves into creative writing assignments where everyone has to then have the most creative reply.
You have showed me some story posts from somebody you follow on Instagram that this is a daily occurrence.
Yes.
That this person...
He's a friend of mine.
We will not identify who it is. This person constantly posts these self-pitying, I'm depressed, LOL type of memes.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be relatable, but it's actually just kind of pathetic.
Well, it's super... to me, I just find it really, really depressing.
And depressing. And it's are you actually okay? Do you need a wellness check at your house? Or is this just jokes? I don't like that type of humor. It's very BuzzFeed millennial humor.
Yeah.
I don't get it. And trauma dumping in general, I hate that as a trend. Crying is healthy. I'm going to post videos of myself crying in my car and having a mental breakdown on TikTok because that's real. No one wants to see that.
I feel up until the early 2000s or maybe 2010s, everything always had to be so squeaky clean and positive, and you had shows like Seventh Heaven on TV, right?
I
think this is just a reaction to all that.
Yeah.
Seventh Heaven?
Yeah. I love
that show.
It was, even for me, that was a little syrupy.
Was everything all positive sunshine and rainbows in the 2000s?
I mean, I just think that that where we're at now is we've gone so far the other direction.
Right.
Yeah.
And they think that just because it's depressing, it's real.
Yes.
Or because it's depressing, or because something is maybe funny. Relatable, then it's funny. I don't know.
Well, I always make the same argument with movies, right? I say just because your movie is dark and gritty doesn't make it intelligent. Doesn't make it deep. Your nihilism is not inherently more intellectual than any other feeling that another person experiences.
Yeah. And also in reference to your friend, it's there's so much stuff on the internet nowadays where you could better yourself as a person instead of just posting about how depressed you are every day. So it just kind of seems it seems so attention grabby, and I think that's why it kind of rubs you the wrong way.
Yeah, it's those girls who post a picture, if they go to the hospital or something, they post a picture of their bracelet from the hospital stay.
But no context.
No context, and they're thanks everyone for checking in on me. I'm okay. Heart emoji. Stop. I'm never going to be one of those people in your DMs asking you if you're okay. Yes. Never.
Luckily,
Elmo will be though.
Elmo will ask.
Most men learn early on that people don't care.
You've heard of tickle me, Elmo. Now it's trauma dump on me, Elmo.
Trauma me, Elmo.
He still has a smile on.
Mm-hmm. And he followed up the post as well. Wow, Elmo is glad he asked. Elmo learned that it's important to ask a friend how they're doing. Elmo would check in again soon, friends. Elmo loves you. Hashtag emotional well-being.
It also becomes like a lightning rod for things that have nothing to do with it. People are like, well, I don't know, there's genocide going on in the world. So, and then it became about Israel-Palestine.
No.
Come on.
Like, it's crazy. And I wonder if all of it is also a big part of it is like people just, it's kind of like the phenomenon of therapy now. People feel more comfortable telling a stranger on the internet what's going on in their lives than actually telling somebody who might be able to help you in the real world. Elmo can't help you. Friends, family, people that care about you.
Elmo isn't your therapist.
It was a formality.
Yes. Well, no, it's like those commercials they used to have where it's. Do you remember those commercials back in like the 2000s where it was like when you ask that question, you're not actually supposed to tell them how you're doing. You're supposed to say yes. You're not supposed to overshare.
Right.
So it's like you're sitting in like a doctor's office waiting room with somebody and you're just making small talk with the person next and you're like, oh, how you doing? And they're like, bad. And then they start talking about all of the things in their lives that are wrong. And look,
I literally had that experience where I was in a waiting room and this guy starts showing me pictures of his surgery.
Yep.
I'm serious. Like, no, that is,
It's like, I feel bad, but it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's so uncomfortable.
And you know it's because they probably like don't have someone to talk to, and then it's like a guilt thing. And
what we really needed
makes me
for
more
this,
angry.
We needed all the haves to come in and be like, life's great right now. Chance the Rapper says, honestly, I'm in a really good place right now. I need Kim Kardashian to come in and be like making a lot of money. Things
Being
are
a
going
billionaire.
well.
Yeah.
Like Taylor Swift's like just hit $1 billion. Everyone thinks I'm controlling the White House and the Super Bowl. Life is good.
yeah,
Like
but there was
just-
none
just
of
own
that.
it. But okay, so here's the thing. I used to, for many, many years, I worked at I worked at a gas station. So I would work at a counter. And you would not believe the amount of people that just want to come in and talk about their day.
Yeah, you've told me about this
the-
before.
The amount of people that just want to come in and kind of just dump whatever's going on in their lives on you, that never really bothered me, like in the way that it bothers some other people, as long as it's not like me having to be like, there's a line of like 30 people behind you. Can you please like...
Did they do that?
Sometimes that would happen.
Oh my goodness.
But like you'd have to...
so
so nice.
inconsiderate.
Brett is so patient.
But,
He'll
like,
stand there and nod.
we
Gas
had
station therapist.
That was me.
Yep.
I'm gonna put that in my. See, if I was clever, that would be my Twitter bio. But like, I had to. There was people like. So there was regulars who like. I don't even know how this started, and it started well before I worked there. But there was a guy who came there, and he's the nicest. He was retired, nicest gentleman you will ever meet, and he just sat at the island and drank coffee, and he didn't pay for coffee. Like, I have no idea if he just started doing that one day, but like my boss never charged him for his coffee. Therefore, I never charge him for his coffee. And we just sit there and talk about our days. And he would talk about his kids and he would
That's
talk
sweet.
about all this stuff. But he would do it every day. So it would be catching up, whatever. But the people who would come in that you don't see regularly, it's like immediately into like, oh, my day was awful. I just got out of the hospital. I got in a car accident. I'm like, bro,
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes it's the people that have no one else to talk to, but sometimes these people do this to every single person that they see in that day.
Yeah.
So you can't always feel guilty. Sometimes like people just that's just their coping mechanism, is to just tell everyone how awful their day was, including Elmo.
We got a $20 one here from the last of my kind. Says, Brett, have you tried bone conduction headphones? I have bilateral tinnitus and they really helped me. I lost enough hearing from drums, fire sirens, and marine artillery that I don't put buds in my ears anymore. All right. So what it is I'm 90% deaf in my right ear. I had 2 attempted eardrum reconstructions when I was very, very young. They did not work. It actually made my hearing worse. Apparently that surgery, it's like radical mastoidectomy, where they basically tried to repair the entire eardrum, is much more common now, but back then it wasn't. And it just made it worse. So when I put a headphone in my right ear, it's actually basically just playing as loud as it can and transferring, and like basically my left ear is picking it up and my right ear just feels
Through your skull.
Yes, basically through my skull. Otherwise, I can't hear anything. It plays a role. Like some days I'll oversleep because I'll just sleep on my good ear and then I don't hear shit, which is not good, right?
Yeah.
But so I could try that. I have like a cap that I'll put on how much I'll spend on earbuds, right? Because I basically make them last twice as long because like I only get to use one at a time. There's no reason to actually put them both in. And they end up breaking because basically the speaker will wear out from being on full volume all the time. But yeah, so a lot of people are just kind of looking for somebody to talk to, and I have no problem with that. Like if I'm at work, I'm literally trapped there. Why wouldn't I talk
You're
to you?
face to face though.
Yes.
If we're on Twitter, or if Elmo asks you how you're doing on Twitter,
he's not actually asking.
For everyone's emotional well-being, can you keep it to yourself for one moment?
Don't trauma dump on Elmo, please.
Elmo's having a rough day.
Yeah,
well, like
change
no
his name to Emo.
No one asked Elmo how he's doing.
Also, there's a reason why trauma dumping is considered a word now, because it's actually considered emotionally manipulative to trauma dump.
Yeah.
So,
just like gaslighting that gets thrown around.
Or
a lot.
love
bombing.
That's the one that makes me want to throw a stereo out a window. It does. I hate that term. Like
someone's nice to you and you're like, you're love bombing me.
Like no, basically they can demonize any type of human interaction.
Right. Yes.
So there's a $20 one here from Francisco Sanchez Jr. Says its continuing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
07.
Yes. And another $20 one here from Mikey says, when I worked retail, I thought it was weird to get a small amount trauma dump while helping customers. Now I'm a truck driver and I kind of get it. I think he means get it.
So you're the trauma dumper now.
Yeah.
You trauma dump now.
Look, it's I get it for most of the people, and a lot of it's like I worked at a smaller gas station that was like it was not off a main road, so most of the people who were there lived in that community, so you would see a lot of the same faces over and over again. It wasn't strangers most of the time. I would be better at remembering their stories than their names. Because I'm horrible with names.
Well, Sarah, you get this. Like when you're getting your hair done or you're getting your nails done, do you like volunteer that information? Because I feel like it's sort of more expected with that. You're sitting with someone for a prolonged period of time.
Yeah. And the conversation just kind of flows after a while.
Like if I'm invited to talk, I will.
Otherwise,
but I don't volunteer information.
It's like those memes that say like, my Uber driver says nothing, me 5 stars every single time.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. So
but also if they want to talk, I'll talk. I like when I get an Uber driver who's like a retired older person who's just like chilling and they like to chat. Like that's fun.
Yeah, like to me, like it's either or. I'm not gonna initiate like a long conversation, but if they want to, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I have to talk to this person.
We do have to mention Biden's response to Elmo.
We had a $20 one here. One more from Mike. He says, also I try not to do it. Yeah, I get you, man. Yes, this could have been cringe of the day, ladies and gentlemen. President Joe Biden has responded to Elmo, or more than likely, an intern has responded to Elmo.
Because our country is a joke.
I know how hard it is some days to sweep the clouds away and get to sunnier days. I know how hard it is. Does somebody here have a good Biden impression? Just imagine somebody really, really brain dead and being held up by amphetamines.
A literal vegetable.
A vegetable being held up by amphetamines and the Fed.
Elmo is like, how are you doing? And Biden just starts crying blood.
Our friend Elmo is right. We have to be there for each other. Offer our help to a neighbor in need unless you're at the southern border. I added that part. And above all else, ask for help when we need it unless it's at the southern border.
Or your name is Corn Pop.
Yeah.
He's a bad dude.
Even though it's hard, you're never alone. Again, unless you're at the southern border. So, this is the stuff where when they talk about the adults being back in charge, I laugh.
No. That's hilarious.
I laugh at stuff like this. It's all so unserious. We are an unserious country being run by unserious people.
Yeah.
Corrupt, evil, and unserious, which is maybe the worst combination of those that you could be. But I love the folksy. And then Lydia's the first response. Oh, come on!
Did you guys watch Sesame Street growing up or no?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
I didn't because I wasn't allowed to watch PBS.
Okay.
Here's somebody. Yep. What Joe Biden needs to do is stop talking to Sesame Street characters and close the border.
See, like now you're just being a killjoy.
We live in such a stupid time.
We do.
Really do.
Having to do this and hearing all the politicians talk about Taylor Swift, I'm like, we are so screwed.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.